Hi folks, it's just about 11:15 Saturday morning. Just before I started this, I got in touch with Anne Hughes to find out how the tickets were going. Guess what? 171 tickets gone already. We've got onto the hotel. Apparently our capacity is 200, but she pushed a little bit and they'll squeeze in another 45. So there is space yet for you to get a ticket. If you've got family or friends you've been nudging, then give them another nudge because they might be gone before you know it. And if you're on swithing about it, well, let me see if I can convince you. But first of all, why am I doing this? Well, look, to be honest, it's about guilt. I've not done public courses for a long, long time. Still doing corporate stuff, still, making money. What's wrong with that? That's a good thing. But in coming back to do public stuff, I wanted to give something back. And this is where this idea came of working with charities. And so inevitably when I put out there that I was interested in maybe doing some charities, and one or two of the big charities got in touch. And to be honest, I don't really want to, well, you know what I'm like. I don't necessarily want to raise money for pharmaceutical research so that we can do something more drug-wise with cancer or heart disease or whatever. That work needs to go on, of course it does. But if I'm going to do something, I would rather if there were charities in those areas that was doing lifestyle stuff of the type of thing I'm passionate about. I'd love to give them money, but of course, not easy to find that. But being a social worker in my past, working with young people at risk in the Glasgow area, being a community worker too, anything to do with Glasgow and the sort of charities that wouldn't normally get money, I was very interested in that. And obviously, if I come to your city, like Dublin or whatever, I'd be interested in that as well. But there's nothing in the pipeline at the moment. We explored some stuff in Ireland, but it's not going to happen at the moment. So maybe something in the autumn, who knows. So whilst there is a main charity that this is going to, the only charity it's going to, which is a charity out in Drumchapel, and if you don't know Glasgow, that's out in the west of Glasgow. It's post-war housing estate of the type that I grew up in initially, in a place called Easterhouse, when I went back to work as a social worker. And they're dealing there with this charity. They're dealing with young men, or men rather, who are in danger of committing suicide. So that wonderful. I mean, if you think about it, my stuff's all about the mind, MindStore, how to use your mind better, which we're going to do on the programme, of course. And here are men struggling with their minds, struggling with their thoughts. So being able to help them just touches my heart. I hope it does yours. There's also two charities that also reached out, we got involved with, but couldn't quite get this together initially. One is Calon Athletic, which deals with men who have, and women, but certainly men who've overcome their addiction to drugs and still working with that. So it's fantastic. My father used to work with them as well way back, and I've done stuff for them in the past. I just feel a massive connection to them. Type of work I did when I was a social worker and community worker, youth worker in the East End of Glasgow. And then a city centre refuge for women who are homeless. Why wouldn't we want to? So although they're not going to get any of the money, what we've offered them is discounts so that some of their beneficiaries, some of their volunteers can get on the programme that you'll be on with dignity. They can pay for their ticket, they come along and enjoy the programme. Now you're getting it for 65 quid. I mean, it's ridiculous. A day with me. A day with me with all the tools and techniques after all these years, my 30 odd years of experience, all these amazing tools and techniques that work, and you're getting it at a fraction of the price. Why? So you can give it to charity. And someone put something on Facebook, I think it was yesterday, asking, well, he's done the thing that people do, 200 people, £65 a head, there'll be £13,000 or something after the obvious costs. That's a lot of money. Maybe we'll see Jack with a cheque, so presenting it to them. I'm sorry, I ain't going to do that kind of publicity. I won't be doing that. I never thought for 1 minute I should get proof that the money goes to the charity. But if that's going to be important for people, of course, and we'll tell you how much we've raised at the end of the course on the Saturday, and I'll make sure we get a receipt for that, and if need be, I'll post that. But I think we can trust what's going to be happening. I don't need publicity for it, and so on. But anyway, so on the programme, what we're doing, well, first of all, I want this, inevitably with MindStore, you want to get newcomers and you want to do stuff for those amazing people who keep repeating, the loyal MindStore enthusiasts, and that's many of you. And I wanted to give you something that's an upgrade, more tools and techniques, maybe a different kind of focus, but also for newcomers. I mean, let's be honest, all the youngsters out there, however young they are compared to me, they've heard of meditation, they've heard of mindfulness, for goodness sake, it's out there, and out there, everybody's heard of it. So we don't need to go through all this sort of slow, elaborate build-up that I used to do. Just get straight into it. So they're going to get a quick immersion into our techniques so we can move on to the new and the bigger stuff. But for a lot of you who I know will be booking, you'll be in your 50s, you'll be in your 60s, 70s and beyond, because that, you've come along in my journey as I get towards the back end of my 60s. So the point is, the goals that we would set, the things we would focus on when we were in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s and so on, they're very different from what you might be considering now. And one of the huge questions that I've been asked consistently, especially towards the back end of all those public courses, down at the front when people came to speak to me and so on, and sometimes publicly in the room, is this thing about, what's my purpose? Where should I set my goals? And we're going to look at that, guys. We're going to get into that in big, big detail. And fun enough, for a lot of people, it's when they get to the back end of their working lives that when the space begins to open up, when they can really focus on what their purpose is and start to work with that purpose in their goal setting and their aspirations and begin to manifest extraordinary outcomes. So we are going to learn some brilliant new approaches, but a powerful tool inside that media room. An amazing tool we're going to add to the 4 screens. And if you did a 3-screen version 20 years ago or whatever, then you're going to get another screen plus this other tool, which is extraordinary. But we're also going to focus on big stuff in relation to breakthrough in electroencephalography, which I hope to let you see on a video. And then if not, I'll explain it to you. But massive proof that when we're doing what we do with MindStore, we're making that connection to, if I would call it source, you might call it your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, it's fine by me. But much more of your intelligence is available with your left brain logical, wide awake state of a brain. And that's going to be amazing. And you're going to be able to know for a fact that you're getting in touch with intuition. And with that intuition, getting in touch with, inevitably, what's your purpose? What's the next phase of your life? What should your goals be? You're going to be amazed at what you leave with. It's absolutely fantastic. So those of you who did Whispers with Giants, we're going to another level of that kind of thing. And bringing with it into the programme will be me all these years later, since our last public courses, with all these breakthroughs that I've been doing. So more tools and techniques. And we're going to do it to raise money for a charity. How cool is that? Now, Ireland did get involved, seeing if 1 or 2 charities would see if they could get involved. Couldn't quite make it happen. Maybe something in the autumn for there. So if you're in Ireland, and it might not happen in the autumn, the charities, don't know, but it has to be a charity. By the way, if you're in Ireland, you're thinking about it, it needs to be something like what I'm doing in Glasgow. Charities that normally don't get the money, who's going to impact human beings who are in need, if we can give them something. And if this guy was right who made the comment in social media, if we can get 10, 13, 12, whatever, £1,000 to that charity in the west of Glasgow to help these young men or men who are struggling with their minds, I'm going to help you absolutely master your mind. But they're struggling. Hopefully I can get out and do some work with them. But if we can give them a few £1,000s, that would be amazing. You can give them a few £1,000s if you participate. How cool is that? I can't wait for it. I'm really excited about it. Great to see you all in the audience again. I see a lot of you, you've said you've definitely got your tickets. I recognise your name. It'd be great to see you there. And it'd be even better if you bring along family or friends who you've always wanted to get to these tools and techniques. And now's an opportunity at a fee, which, let's be honest, is what you might get yourself a carry out, in terms of, feed the family, curry or something on a Friday night, Saturday night. Maybe go out for a meal if you're able to do that kind of thing. 65 quid is a lot of money for those who don't have it, and we're going to help them. But for those of us who do, let's be honest, for a day that will change your life, oh my God, I hope to see you then. Bye now. Bye-bye.